I am very, very pleased to introduce and welcome our 2016 and 2017 Chairman, Ed Lamb.
That is a long, long walk. It's very impressive to look out and see such a great group of people today. I married a sweetheart from California, and one of the things that I had to learn, and I felt like doing it as I was walking across the stage, is that elbow, elbow, wrist, wrist, wipe a tear and blow a kiss kind of thing, but I thought that probably wouldn't be very appropriate here today. I am just so thrilled to be able to be here with all of you today. And when you think about the title of our Congress this year, Leading Well, I hope you've looked at these characteristics and these traits that are here and listed on this board. And I've titled my talk today to you about making a difference. Because this is what we're trying to do, is make a difference through all of these different things that are listed here. Good morning and welcome to you to the 2016 Healthcare Congress. Wonderful to be here with you. I am so pleased to be able to share this podium today with Linda. She is a good friend and had the opportunity to serve with her on the Board of Governors. And what an incredible choice for a person to receive this prestigious award. So congratulations again, Linda. So the word Congress means a gathering together of people. And here we are, we're all gathered today to learn and to share and to be leaders who make differences in people's lives. Each of us is here today because we believe that making a difference is important. In fact, I would say that it's life-changing. I would add that by seeing, doing, and being a part of the good in the world is what sets us apart as healthcare leaders. We recognize that true leaders set a vision for good things to happen, and then we get out of the way and allow others to take hand and make things happen. I'd like to take just a moment, if I could, to recognize a few individuals that have made a difference in my life. First, without her, I wouldn't be here today. My mother, Louise, Mom, stand up, who, like Linda's mother, told me that I could do or be anything I wanted to be. Mom will be 88 in a couple of months, and I dare say that she can run around circles around most of us still. To my children and my grandchildren who are all here today, my children stand. We let the grandchildren stay up in the room so that we would have a little bit of calm here today. I appreciate you, and I appreciate what you have put up through all of these years with your dad and with Pop. My true accomplishment is in the people that you have become and the examples of goodness that you are to those that you have influence around. To my sweetheart, Debbie, I promise I would... Sorry. We have been companions and partners for almost 37 years. I met Debbie on a blind date. It really works. It's a fun story. We met on a blind date. We dated 4 times. I proposed. We got married 3 months later. And so here we are today with 6.5 grandchildren. Well, actually more than a half. Our sweet daughter Becca is going to be delivering our 7th grandchild here in May. Thank you, sweetie, for all that you do. I wouldn't be able to do anything without you. I love you. You're my confidant, my partner in all that we do. Thank you for your constant encouragement and support of me. There are so many other people here who have influenced me over the years that I can't mention all of you, so please accept my thanks for all that you have done. However, there are a few that I do need to make mention of, or I'd be very remiss. First of all, Larry Carter, who saw in me the potential of being a healthcare leader and allowed me to have opportunities that would let me experience and taste some of the fruits of our profession. Mark Howard. Mark has been a mentor, an advisor, and a friend throughout my career. He and his wife, Debbie, have been examples to me and to my wife, Debbie, and we appreciate you and how you live your lives. Charlie Evans. Charlie has taught me how to be graceful through times of adversity and challenge. Charlie, thank you. To Chris and Rosemary Van Gorder, true friends and leaders who have shown Debbie and me how to be ourselves in the way we carry out this new responsibility. To Rulon and Stacy, what can I really say about Rulon? Rulon is one of those people who has taught me to enjoy our experience here and to have gusto and energy and fun in what we do. Life is just too short, really, to not have fun. Thank you, Rulon. And I want to give special thanks to all of those individuals that I have been privileged over the many years to serve with as a regent and as a member of the Board of Governors. You have taught me well. I have been blessed by my association with each of you. Thank you for your examples. I have to call out a couple of people, Chris Candio, Darlene Stromstead, and Jim Lee. The four of us came onto the Board of Governors together, and I'm sure that we gave Tom Dolan a run for his money. It was a fun group and still is to this day. I know that I can truly call them my friends and call upon them if I ever need to. Like all of you here today, my professional career has been greatly influenced by Tom Dolan and by Deborah Bowen. Thank you for your advice, for your time, and for your kindness. You have truly made a difference in my life and the lives of so many. The staff of ACHE are excellent. I hope you realize that. And I think that it's appropriate that we pause for just a moment now and give a round of applause to all of them for making this Congress so wonderful. We really know that Julie Nolan makes the job easier being a chair officer and a smooth one, so Julie, thank you very much. Finally, I want to thank all of the many wonderful people I've had the privilege of working beside over the many years of my career, especially my associates at IASIS Healthcare. Without their support, I would not be able to fulfill my responsibilities as a chair officer. I'm privileged and I'm honored to serve with an incredible group of people who are dedicated to making a difference. And would you all stand? I have a group over here, side of the room. We live in a tremendous time in healthcare. We've seen so many different advances come about, and we continue to see more and more each day. But it seems that lately we have been told that healthcare in our country isn't what it should be. We hear that we aren't making the advances that we need to make, that our services cost too much, that America is losing its leadership position, and that other nations are passing us by. You've heard it, I've heard it, and sometimes I think we hear it just way too much. We have issues and we have opportunities, don't mistake. Our system is far from being perfect. There is much more to be done. There will always be more to be done. But that is the wonderful challenge for each of us here today. So please don't buy into all of that negativity. I am someone who believes that our history books can teach us great lessons and valuable lessons and help to keep us in perspective. One of those lessons came during our nation's darkest hours, during the American Civil War. The Chancellorsville Campaign of 1863 was one of the most lopsided clashes of that war. The Union's effective fighting force, more than twice that of the Confederates, was the greatest imbalance during the war in Virginia. General Hooker's Union Army was much better supplied and was well rested after several months of inactivity. They had the advantage of equipment and mode of transport. On the other hand, General Robert E. Lee's Confederate troops, while veteran and very well led, were tired, they were battle-worn, they were ill-equipped, and they were very hungry. The Union Army had every advantage. Yet in May of 1863, the Union Army would be defeated in one of the most bloodiest battles in our nation's history. How did that happen? Of course, there were many factors that played into that result. Lee's brilliant leadership, chance, and miscommunications. But some historians point to something else. You see, in planning for the upcoming battle, General Hooker placed his troops in a defensive position in the area where the units became isolated from each other visually. The individual soldier couldn't see his comrades. He could see the large advancing Confederate army, but not the friendly units next to him. Communications with the leaders were lost. They outnumbered the Confederates, but the Union soldiers felt outnumbered. They lost confidence, and they lost that battle. I sometimes wonder if we find ourselves in the same position as those union leaders. We hear how our healthcare system is losing ground, how we simply don't compare. We see and we hear negative noise and could lose sight of what's going on with all of the wonderful units that stand with us. Don't lose confidence. Don't lose track of the great and terrific things that are happening in your healthcare systems today. I believe we are winning significant battles and would like to share a few examples with you today of how lives are touched by the efforts of so many healthcare leaders and professionals. Born October the 14th, 2009, Addison came into this world weighing only 13.7 ounces after 25 weeks of gestation. That's about the size of a good grapefruit. Addie spent the first 93 days of her life in the neonatal intensive care unit, where she astonished the staff with her determination not only to live, but to prove that miracles really do happen. Amazingly, Addie endured only one minor laser eye surgery, and just 3 months after her early arrival, she became the smallest baby ever to leave Corpus Christi Medical Center to go home with her family. Today, Addie is a healthy, happy 6-year-old with no health conditions, just a few minor scars as a reminder of what she overcame. The company I have the privilege of working for sponsors an annual Chairman's Award. At IASIS Healthcare, we believe in the power of caring for people. We are committed to that goal day in and day out, and every decision that we make keeps that legacy moving forward. The Chairman's Award is given to associates who take that commitment of caring to an extra level. When they see a need, they step up. At work and at home, they take the action to make the world a better place. Everyone deserves a smile and a genuine, "How are you?" Sounds simple, but it's a philosophy that has allowed Kathy Stewart to do a lot of good and an ever-growing group of friends, family, and patients. Whether it's teaching children with autism in Sunday school, volunteering at an Alzheimer's care unit, working with her disabled granddaughter, or participating in fundraisers and community events to support her daughters, and that's plural, who have MS and lupus, Kathy never fails to hear the call. Quote, "I was taught by incredible parents and grandparents that everyone needs to learn how to serve and be served," unquote, says the mother of 6 and grandmother of 11. For Kathy, helping others not only brings joy, but it's an important standard she wanted to model for her children. Making a difference should be a life skill that we all want to cultivate. She also is quick to make sure that volunteerism never gets old, boring, or stale. Over the last several years, she has helped to raise more than $52,000 for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, in part by installing a flock of plastic flamingos on the lawns of people. And by the way, my lawn has been polluted by those pink flamingos. And it's an interesting way to raise money because you can't get them off of your lawn until you pay. Her colleagues at Jordan Medical Center know that Kathy will be there for them whenever necessary. Whether it's lending a hand with a family meal or providing transportation, she's always ready to help someone who's in the tight spot. To those who marvel at all that she is able to accomplish, Kathy advises that they should never believe that it requires special talents, or a lot of time, or a pile of money to make meaningful contributions to the lives of others. One person really can make the difference, she says. Don't minimize what you can do. Willingness and endurance sometimes is more important than money or skills. I am moved each year as associates of our organization receive these awards. I work with amazing people. They inspire me to do a little bit better each day. A hospital CEO shares the following. On January the 7th, a 4-year-old boy was brought into the emergency room by his parents. His dad had run over him with a truck. They had been out on the family farm doing chores just as they had done day in and day out for many years. Only this time, instead of the little boy going behind the truck to feed the cattle, the boy went in front of the truck, and his dad just simply didn't see him. When the boy and his father arrived at the hospital, the boy was alert and telling the hospital staff that his stomach hurt. They began to quickly assess the extent of his injuries. Surgeons were called, and the OR team was called in. They mobilized quickly. But before the teams could arrive, the boy went into cardiac arrest. Resuscitation efforts were started immediately. The staff soon determined that there was a significant internal bleeding issue, and blood products were ordered to be available immediately. The boy was successfully resuscitated but was now unconscious. In surgery, a tremendous team of professionals had assembled, some out of duty because they were on call, while others out of caring and concern. In the tensest of throes in this case, there were 2 general surgeons, an orthopedic surgeon who had just finished another emergency case in the OR, and 3 anesthesia providers, a pharmacist, nursing staff, imaging personnel, lab staff, a house supervisor, a volunteer chaplain, the chief clinical officer, and of course the parents. Everyone had a purpose. The orthopedic surgeon was manually massaging the boy's heart. The surgeons were attempting to locate the source of the bleeding, and the volunteer chaplain was trying to comfort the family. The lab staff was trying to understand the blood needs, and others were tending to a myriad of duties. Early in the effort, confusion arose regarding the availability of enough blood to transfuse. Concerned about the survival of the child, the surgeon ordered blood from another hospital. Fearing that it would not arrive soon enough, one of the anesthesia providers said that he was O-negative blood type and offered to donate. The surgeons decided to do the unorthodox and carried out a direct transfusion. The anesthesia provider lay on the floor of the OR and donated blood to the severely injured boy. After an hour of trying every possible way to save this little boy's life, the child died. The injuries were just too severe. The emotional wrenching in the aftermath of this case has been extraordinary. Over a dozen staff people have sought out our organizational psychologists to try to cope with the feelings and the questions that arose. Did I do all that I could? What more could I have done? What if I had done this instead? The second guessing had been widespread. I observed a seasoned physician break down in tears when explaining the results of the autopsy, yet all reviews have indicated that no effort would have saved this boy. The autopsy revealed that his pulmonary artery had been detached from his heart when the tire rolled over his chest. His mortality was virtually 100%. The CEO goes on to say, "So what do I hope to achieve by telling this story? I hope it serves as a reason for all of us to be grateful every day for people who are willing to put everything on the line for another person. In our community hospital, people still see caring for people as their first priority, and that is what is right in healthcare. These dedicated professionals still know that ultimately they have to answer to themselves and to be able to say that they did all they knew to do and then live with that. I am infinitely grateful to each of them. If it were my 4-year-old child, I wouldn't have had it any other way," unquote. I believe that in leadership we provide in our healthcare system can and does make a difference. Membership and participation in ACHE is meant to mature and to develop the leadership that we will need to take to change lives and to make the difference that each of us is committed to doing. I'm proud and honored to help in that effort, and as your incoming chair, you may rest assured that I am committed to aid in that challenge, and I encourage each of you to continue to grow as leaders and to help others grow as well. I attended Brigham Young University, where at the entrance is a sign that says, "Enter to learn, go forth to serve." I believe the same can be applied to members of the college. You have entered here today, hopefully to come to learn, and I know that each of you will go out and enter into your own spheres back in your organizations and serve. Your service, your leadership is invaluable. You can and will make differences in our American healthcare system. Something else happened at that battle at Chancellorsville. On the night of May 2nd, during a lull in the fighting, Thomas Stonewall Jackson went out at night to reconnoiter. Upon his return to the Confederate lines, he was inadvertently shot by a Confederate sentry. He died 10 days later. Considered the finest battlefield leader in the Confederate Army and Lee's right-hand man, Jackson's leadership would be sorely missed. Historians suggest that if Jackson had lived, things may have turned out much differently. The South might have later won the pivotal Battle of Gettysburg, leaving an open road into Washington and possibly forcing the North to sign an armistice. His leadership had been crucial. Your leadership is crucial. Here today we have many of our nation's greatest healthcare leaders, leaders of what I believe is the greatest system in the world. It is up to each of us, whether we are in our early, our middle, or the senior portion of our careers, to live, to learn, to work, so that our leadership will make a difference that can change lives, can save lives, and truly make our world a better place. Thank you very much, and enjoy Congress.